Howdy y'all, today we are going to be making homemade chicken ramen. I just got done seasoning the chicken. I got 2 chicken breasts. I have a skillet on the stove on medium heat with 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to be dropping the chicken in. I don't have an extra hand to record this part, but I'm going to be putting the chicken breasts in face down. Butter over. I'm gonna wash my hands really quick so I can show you guys how I just did that, or what it looks like at least. And then I will pop up my phone somehow to show you guys with cutting the mushrooms next while we get started on cooking up the chicken. So this is the chicken. I have it again, 3 tablespoons of butter, it's unsalted butter, 2 large chicken breasts with salt and black pepper on the tops of the chicken breast, not on the bottoms, and we put them in face down first. I have my oven preheating to 350 degrees. This is an oven safe skillet. You're going to need an oven safe skillet for this recipe because it will be going into the oven after 5 minutes on the top, or 7 minutes on the top, 5 minutes on the bottom. 12 minutes roughly. I'm just okay, that should be good. I'm gonna grab my cutting board, our mushrooms, and my small colander because I have more than 1 colander. I also went to my garden because I do not have chives. I am substituting with onion greens. That will be later in the recipe, along with the mushrooms. Now, the original recipe for this calls for shiitake mushrooms. While I do like shiitake mushrooms, I go to Walmart and they don't have it, so I substitute with baby bellas. Colander. Okay, so biscuits. Hopefully that's better. So put this open. I don't actually put a timer on while the chicken cooks. I just let it cook for a little bit. Once I think enough time has passed for one flip, I will flip it again. I will show you guys the chicken in a little bit where I have the tops facing up so you can see. I like getting a nice little crust on the tops, and when I do the mushrooms I like to slice them up pretty thin. I don't like getting the pre-sliced mushrooms because of the fact that their slices are a little on the thicker side, and my kiddo loves mushrooms and will steal them out of my bowl, so I slice them up on the thinner side, so while it's the same volume of mushrooms, it seems like a lot more, just because of how thinly they're cut. Because this kid will eat nothing but the noodles and the mushrooms, and then he'll ask for more mushrooms. Absolutely adorable. I love him. But I will, once I get done slicing up this mushroom without cutting my fingers, I'll show you. I don't get them perfectly sliced every time, so there's some where it's not all the way down. Some of them have a little bit of a thicker edge down at the bottom, but I just throw them all into the colander because I do rinse them off before I throw them into the large pot that I have over here. I'm going to go ahead and pause this while I continue cutting up the rest. When I go to flip the chicken, I will continue recording so you guys can see the process as we go. Oh, and I cut off the little butts of the mushrooms. I don't know what it's called, the stem, but the little, just so it's a little bit more flatter and easier to work with. I don't know if you can actually eat that part. If you can, I would like to know that, because that would be cool. I'm still gonna cut them up this way. Alrighty, y'all, so it's been a little bit of time. I want to say it's been roughly 7 minutes. It might have been 10. I'm still cutting up mushrooms. But you see how the butter right there is getting golden? That tells me that the underside is starting to get nice and golden. Oh well, the top of the breast. But yeah, it's generously seasoned with salt and pepper. Sorry. It's going to cook on that side for a little bit. My oven is fully preheated. And then we are going to go on to, once this is in the oven, making our broth for our noodles and mushrooms. Alright, oven open! We're going to be moving our chicken down into the oven. I have mine where it's in the middle, top rack. Don't burn yourself. And make sure your dog does not try to sniff the oven again. I just move our large pot onto our already on eye at medium heat. I'm going to wash my hands because I just blew my dog's nose. We are going to start off with a little over a 1/4 cup of oil. Let me see. So I just washed my 1/4 cup. So it calls for 6 tablespoons, which is essentially a 1/4 cup and a half. So I eyeball it. That's a 1/4 cup. That is about a half. Let me pick up my phone to show you guys. So, oops. That's about a half of the 1/4 cup. We're going to add that into, let it shimmer. Next we are going to grab our minced garlic and our minced ginger. I get the pre-minced stuff just to save some time. You know, it helps make dinner go by a little bit more quickly if you have less stuff to chop up. So my minced ginger is in the door. Minced garlic is right here. And I'm gonna have to run to the store tomorrow to get more minced garlic. I'm running low. Use your muscles and open up that jar of minced garlic. Get your, not a giant shovel. Get yourself a large silverware spoon. I drain out some of the juice. I'm going to drain out some of the juice here. I'm going to just scrape the rest of my minced garlic into a pot. I don't want it too watery. Alright. That's a nice happy amount. I live for garlic. If you think that's a lot, then tone it down a little bit, I guess. But that's about the amount I have. So it would be like 1.5 heaping spoonfuls. And then I do 1 heaping spoonful of the minced ginger. Like that. And just drop it on in. Let it get happy. What I love about this is that when I make this recipe, I start off with tongs as I am flipping the chicken, and I just use it while I'm doing this part here. No, you don't need it to brown. There we go. Here's how well this is cooking up. We now need a little over a half cup of mirin and then 3/4 cups of soy sauce. So this is the mirin that I use. I use the Mizcom mirin. If you do not have mirin, you can use the white rice vinegar, and then add a little bit of sugar to taste. So I said we need about a half cup. There we go. And then it technically calls for 9 tablespoons, so I'm just adding a little bit in there. So about a half of the half, because 6 tablespoons, that would be 4 tablespoons per 1/4 cup. It'd be 8 tablespoons, and then 6 tablespoons. Oh my goodness, I confuse myself with my own math. I'm listening to my kids in the background just playing and being silly. I guess I talk easily. That mom brain. I don't know about y'all when it comes to soy sauce, but I like the kikkoman or kikkoman. I have never had to pronounce that before. We're gonna do 3/4 cups of soy sauce. If you prefer, you can use low sodium. I like salt, and I also use salt-free butter. We're gonna let that get happy for a little bit. It's gonna get to a simmering point. So I'm going to bring this over here so you guys can see. This is what it's currently looking like. We're keeping it on that medium heat. I personally like using chicken stock for this next part. However, I can't find the big things of chicken stock. I can only find the big ones in the chicken broth. So you need 12 cups of broth. And 2 of those big things contain 6 cups of broth. So that's looking really good. You're gonna see that little bit of a separation right here. There's that little bit of a separation. That's gonna go away as you add in the broth. Then we're gonna grab a lid and cover it so it can get to a boiling point when we add in the broth. So you see how it's starting to boil now? I'm gonna go ahead, grab my large measuring cup and start pouring in the broth. Oh, biscuits me. Playing Mexican Jenga with all the clean dishes. Don't drop anything, don't drop anything, don't drop anything. Yeah, didn't drop anything. Okay. So these are the 48 ounces of chicken broth. Again, I prefer stock with it because it gives it a richer flavor. The broth works just as fine. I pour it into a measuring cup first before I pour it into the pot, because I had one time when I was making ramen, I was at this point, I had opened up a second carton of chicken stock and while the date on it was good, the chicken stock itself was not. And I had poured it straight into there, straight from the carton, and ruined the whole broth, and I was really upset. So I pour it into a clear measuring cup first, so I can see to make sure that I'm not pouring in anything funky. I can turn it down to low, send my husband out to get another carton if I need it. Thankfully, that was the only time I've had that happen. But I'm not chancing anything. So, here we are, adding in more. Now, while the chicken is in the oven, I did not have to pull them out. Or no, yeah, it did. 2-cup measuring cup. I can math. While the chicken is in the oven, and this is right here, the broth is getting nice and happy. This would be normally the time when I would actually go outside, but it looked like it was going to rain. But this would be the time when I would grab these, and I add these in when this starts boiling, and I can add in the mushrooms. You have to wait until your broth gets up to a boil, which I'm going to increase the heat from medium heat up to not high, but just like medium high, I guess. I guess that would be like 6, 7. But I just increase it a little bit and let it get happy. Put the lid on it. The chicken, normally the recipe says to have it in there for about 20 minutes. I normally just let it go until I am done with the broth and the noodles. I will grab out the packs of noodles that I use. I grabbed the Kamehameha. I'm sorry, I was thinking about Dragon Ball. But I grabbed these ones. I grabbed the Hokkien noodles. I know they're stir-fry noodles technically, but I just really like these when I'm making ramen. It comes in 2 packs. I use both of these because it's just my husband and I and our oldest that really eats the ramen, and my oldest doesn't really eat the chicken, but my husband and I will split a chicken breast and have lunch for the next day. So 1 pack is for lunch the next day, 1 pack is for dinner tonight. But I just pick it all together. But once I get this up to a boil, I will show you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and start rinsing our mushrooms, and that way once this is ready we can throw in our mushrooms. The mushrooms take about 10 minutes to cook, and I will repeat that when I add the mushrooms in. Okay, so I did increase the heat up some. I still have the lid on. It feels like we're getting ready to start boiling. We're gonna leave it covered until it gets to a rolling boil. I just rinsed our mushrooms. I cleaned off my cutting board so I can cut up the chicken once it's done. I will also be recording how to plate this, just because I personally like to plate it a specific way. My husband, I love him. He knows I make fun of him for this. He likes little pieces, like bite-sized pieces. I call them nibble-sized pieces. But I like to do, as my brother calls it, the carnivorous flour. And so I will show you guys how to plate that once we get to that point. Looking in here, because I can just see just a little bit. I don't know if you guys can. It's starting to get to the point where it's about to hit a rolling boil. It's right at the beginning. I love this recipe. It's one of my most favorite recipes to make. I call it my expensive meal. Altogether it costs roughly $20 to make this. For 4 servings, which is not bad. Getting 4 servings out of it for 2 people who are actually eating it, it gives you leftovers for the next day. I love my kiddos. I don't count their servings because their servings are so small. We just take them out of our bowls. Here we go. You see that where it's starting to get nice happy bubbles. So this is the point where I'm going to drop the heat to just below medium. Carefully add in our mushrooms. I'm going to put my phone down for this. Because I've been splashed with the broth before and it is not fun. Getting splashed with any kind of boiling liquid is very not fun. So you got to be very careful when adding it in. Our happy mushrooms now added in, and like I said before, this is the time when I like to take at least one of my onion greens, and I just use my gardening shears that I use to gather the onion greens. I'm going to use a smaller one for now, and I just snip it straight into the pot. I am going to end up using this whole green in the pot. The other green I'm going to split up between my husband and I, as well as my oldest. My youngest will be having ramen for the first time tonight. I'm really excited to see his reaction. He just started eating real solids. He's got teeth now. So here's our onions, or our onion greens. I'm gonna mix it in. Now this takes about 10 minutes for the mushrooms to cook. So I'm gonna put a timer on for 8 because it takes about 2 minutes for those to cook. So timer 8, start. So we are going to let this go. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while this gets nice and happy. I am leaving it uncovered during this process. Once the 8 minutes are up, I will be adding in the noodles, let cook for the last 2 minutes, and I will be pulling out the chicken during that time and starting to slice it. Once I pull the chicken out to start slicing, that's when I will start recording to show you guys how to plate this. Okay, so I'm unpausing this because I got 30 seconds left on my timer. Well, less than that. We are going to go ahead and mitt up to pull out our chicken first. Oven open! Georgie, I need you to move, big boy. Move. Hot oven. I love you. Okay. And I do implore you to use an oven mitt so you do not burn your hand. I had an incident one time when I had already got it pulled out. The chicken pulled out. My kiddo was running through, and I got so scared that he was able to hit the handle because I had it on the front eye. And I grabbed the skillet fresh out the oven and moved it to the back eye with my bare hand, and I burnt my whole hand. So yes, I highly implore you, take it out, put it to the back eye if you can. We are now adding in our Hokkien noodles. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Hokkien? I know there's udon noodles. I don't know exactly the difference aside from the noodle sizes. The Hokkien noodles are smaller. That was hot. The udon noodles are bigger. I think one's made with egg yolk. I could be wrong. If you have knowledge of this information and would like to share it, that would be awesome. I know Google is also a thing. And I shall Google later. go. Our last pack. Drop it in. Biscuit eaters. That was a pop. Basura. Take our trusty tongs, because when you drop them in, they're going to be in those full blocks that you've seen. I take the tongs and I just kind of break it up while they're in there cooking for the next 2 minutes. During this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn off this eye so it can start cooling down. I already got my bowls for tonight out. See, as you break it up, it's looking real nice. But I did get the bowls out for tonight, so I can go ahead and grab out one chicken breast to slice up and show you guys how I do the plating process. With this, I actually start off with the noodles, because I gave the chicken a little bit of time, which those I probably could have taken out 5 minutes ago, but they'll be okay, because once you add them into the broth, it's going to help rehydrate that top a little bit more, but it's thankfully not burnt. I haven't had a time where they have burnt, but my old oven, because this is a new oven, I'm learning how to cook and bake with this stove and oven. My old one was just so old and wearing out that it needed that little extra time with cooking to get the chicken all the way cooked through. I know for a fact that the chicken is all the way cooked through, so I'm not going to worry about doing the whole poking it with a meat thermometer or slicing it, because I'm about to slice it anyways. Now, I'm going to start with my bowl, because I do the carnivorous flour, which is the more traditional way of doing this. So we're going to grab a nice helping of noodles. I'm going to grab a little bit more. There we go. I'm going to go with this one in the back. Georgie, you cannot have the chicken. Put your nose down. Cover the chicken. So I'm gonna move this stuff around. Now, like I said before, my husband and I normally split a chicken breast between the two of us. I don't see any guitar strips out there. So I do smaller slices with mine. Bring my fork closer. Bringing your fork closer when you're cutting it actually makes it a little bit more sturdier if you're trying to go for thinner slices. This is what I like to do when I'm plating this, because I went to Susuru's. It is a ramen shop out in somewhere 192, up 192 I believe it is, in Florida. I don't know if you guys have any cool ramen shops near you guys, but if you do, I do highly recommend going to a ramen shop, because they're usually really good. Susuru's is really cool because biscuit eaters, that's hot. They have all anime stuff, and the time that I went with my siblings, they had a Godzilla special going on. So if you got a certain drink, you got a Godzilla action figure. It was really cool. Now, here we go. Tuck that one in just a little bit more. This is my carnivorous meat flour. See, if I had a full chicken breast, I continue to go in and make a circle going into the inside. and it would look like a blooming flower. During this part, oh, somebody's getting hungry. I go ahead and add in a little bit of chives or onion rings. In my case, I grab my ladle and I put the bowl straight onto the stove because it is hot. Grab your ladle and ladle in some broth. Now my bowl has the little holes and pokies for the chopsticks. I'm the only one in my house that currently uses chopsticks because I don't know, I'm extra. There we go. And this is our happy bowl of ramen. So I hope you guys give this recipe a try. It's really good. If you do, let me know how you like it. If you do anything different, I would like to know that too. Maybe I can try that with making it next time. Anyways, have a good one.